Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today's video it's the continuation of first two videos that I was doing related to competency based questions on chemistry. So we have already covered the chapters acid, base and salt, and the second one was the carbon and its compound. Today we will be going for the first chapter, chemical reactions and equations. Okay, and my next video will be on metals and non-metals. Okay, so I hope you have practiced the earlier two chapters that I have shown, and hope it is clear with you. Okay, so let's move to the next one. So today's one, it's all about chemical reactions and equations. So I hope you remember the reactions, different types of reactions. So based on that, we will be doing certain competency based questions. Okay, now the first question is: photographic film consists of a gelatin emulsion with silver halide grains layered onto a film base. The halides that are used are silver chloride, silver bromide, or iodide. The photographic film is usually stored in metal containers to protect it from light. Write the chemical equation for the possible chemical reaction that this method of storing photographic film is preventing. So here they have given, so a photographic film is there, and silver halide grains were layered on that film base. Okay, the halide that was used, the halide is nothing but the halogens. Okay, that is chloride, bromide, or iodide. So it can be silver chloride, silver bromide, or silver iodide. Okay, so that is being given here. So, and it is said that this photographic film is stored in metal containers to protect it from light. So I think from this the keyword here is silver halide. So if you have studied the decomposition reaction, especially the photochemical decomposition reaction or the photolytic decomposition reaction, where there was two example, एक silver chloride का था, एक silver bromide का था, right? So that is nothing but this question is related to that. So silver chloride or silver bromide. So you know, when silver chloride, if light falls on it, so it decomposes, right? Same thing is being asked here in a case based question. So here they have asked you to write the chemical equation for the possible chemical reaction. तो इसमें कौन सा chemical reaction होगा अगर if light falls on it. Okay, so so what will you write? So it's a silver halide, and for halogens we always use the word alphabet X. Okay, so X stands for halogens or the halides that are used. It can be chlorine, chloride, it can be bromide, or it can be iodide. Okay, so तीनों ही दिया हुआ है. So you have to just take a general one instead of writing one by one for chlorine, bromine and iodine. You can directly go for X. Okay, so silver halide. Okay, so what will happen when light will fall? Okay, so what will happen? It decomposes, yes or no? So here we'll have silver and the halogen separately. That's why we store photographic film, and in order to prevent photolytic decomposition or photochemical decomposition, we always put it away from the light. So that is why we should store somewhere where no light falls on it or no light can enter it. Okay, so we can store in a metal container, right? So where light will not enter. So that's the answer. So here if you write, so if you balance it, so 2 AgX, right? So silver, 2 moles of silver, and halogen will always be like this. Okay, in the subscript you have to write, because chloride we write like this, bromine also like this, iodine also, if we take iodide, then also we write like this, iodine molecule. Okay, so that's the general chemical equation for this question. I hope I am clear. कुछ नहीं करना है, बस द डिकम्पोजिशन रिएक्शन का, फोटोकेमिकल डिकम्पोजिशन रिएक्शन का इसमें लिख देना है. वेयर एक्स इज, वेयर यू कैन राइट डाउन एक्स इज अ halogen. Okay, so always remember X stands for halogen. Don't use any other symbol. So X mostly refers in chemistry as halogens. Now next question. Trupti mixed 1 teaspoon of baking soda in 500 gram of cake mixture. She kept the mixture aside for 5 minutes. ठीक है, तृप्ति ने क्या किया, 500 ग्राम का केक मिक्सचर लिया, and she has added baking soda there. Okay, and she kept it for 5 minutes. फिर गीता ने क्या किया, सेम मिक्स 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Now she has taken, गीता ने क्या किया, baking powder लिया in 500 gram of same cake mixture. Okay, so तृप्ति ने लिया baking soda and Geeta has taken baking powder. So both are different. Okay, so the question is, then she has also kept the mixture aside for 5 minutes. दोनों ने 5 minutes के लिए रख दिया केक मिक्सचर, एक ने बेकिंग सोडा डाला and one has added baking powder. She then baked the two cakes together in the same oven. Whose cake is likely to rise higher? Justify your answer. Okay, so एक ने लिया बेकिंग सोडा, एक ने लिया बेकिंग पाउडर. So किसका केक सबसे ज़्यादा ऊंचा होगा और हायर. ओके, सो अकॉर्डिंग टू यू विच वन शुड बी द आंसर. So you can put a comment in the comment box. You can write down your answer. It's okay if it is wrong. Just try it out. Okay, don't just think. You should note it down or try it and write your answer somewhere. Okay, then you should check your answer. So that's how you should study. Okay, so so the here so what will be the answer? So one is baking soda. So baking soda is what? Sodium carbonate, right? And one is baking powder. Baking powder is sodium bicarbonate. Okay, so now what is happening? Sodium carbonate plus tartaric acid. Okay, baking powder consists of tartaric acid also, and baking soda contains only sodium bicarbonate. Okay, so here is the answer. So baking powder is a mixture of sodium bicarbonate and tartaric acid. And so now what is happening? So the one which is having only sodium bicarbonate. Okay, so baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. So sodium bicarbonate one will rise higher. That means striptease cake will rise higher. Why? Because she has only pure sodium bicarbonate. Whereas in case of Geeta, so what she has done? She has mixed baking powder, so which has tartaric acid. So it takes time to rise, because more amount of carbon dioxide is released by sodium bicarbonate, that is baking soda, rather than baking powder. So if she takes baking soda, so her cake will rise higher. Whereas in Geeta's case, like the rising of the cake will be slower, or it will be less compared to Trupti's one. But one thing is there, the Trupti's cake will be bitter. Okay, because baking the Geeta's cake, it is edible. Okay, that's the difference. One more question comes related to it. So the bitter one is always with baking soda, because it doesn't contain tartaric acid. Okay, so the cake will be bitter in taste. Okay, karwa hoga. So that's one question regarding baking powder and baking soda. In both the cases, carbon dioxide gas will be released, but in case of baking soda, since it is pure sodium bicarbonate, so that is why it will be more, the amount of carbon dioxide will be more, so the cake will rise higher compared to Geeta's one. Now next question. While cooking in an aluminium vessel, Sudeshna burned some food till all that was left was a completely charred and black residue. Okay, so what Sudeshna has done, she has taken an aluminium vessel where she burnt some of the food that she was cooking, and it was completely charred and a black residue was formed. Okay, she just left the blackened vessel heating on the stove. So she didn't switch off the stoves. She continued burning the same black residue on the stove. So after an hour, she found that the vessel was completely clean with no traces of any blackness. Even though it turned black, like the food got burnt and a black residue was formed, she continued heating it for 1 hour. And after 1 hour, when she came back, she saw that the black residue was gone. Okay, so there was no trace of any blackness. Now, why did this happen? Okay, that's the question. And write a chemical equation to explain what happened to the charred black residue that made it disappear. कहाँ पे चला गया वो काला residue, where it went. Okay, so what was the reaction that was occurring there जिससे वो चला गया. And also name the type of reaction referred to in A. Okay, so यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? When the food was burned and black residue, that means carbon हो गया. Okay, all food materials contains carbon. So the black residue is nothing but carbon. You are heating it, मतलब oxygen डाल रहे हो, मतलब क्या, when carbon and oxygen, so combustion is occurring. So what is happening here? Carbon dioxide gas is being formed. तो जितना भी काला रेसिड्यू था वो ऑक्सीडाइज होके it has transformed into carbon dioxide gas. That is why there was no blackness, or there was no residue of the black residue was completely gone. ओके। ब्लैक रेसिड्यू मतलब कार्बन, चार्ट कार्बन ही है, तो कार्बन को जितना गर्म कर रहे हो दैट मीन्स ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई कर रहे हो, कंबशन हो रहा है, कंबशन की वजह से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस, इट इज़ कन्वर्टिंग टू कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस, एंड एज ए रिजल्ट वो सारा black residue chala gaya. Okay, now what is the type of reaction here? So you can write any of the three. Okay, it can be combustion, you can write combination also, or you can write oxidation also, right? Addition of oxygen, so you can write any of the three, you can write it down, or you can mention all the three. That is also there is no issue in that, so it's better if you write three, or you can go for any one, or so you'll get marks for either of them. Okay, so that's the what I have said. So combustion, oxidation, combination, so either of one also if you write, it is correct. I hope I'm clear. Another one, again Trupti ने क्या किया, she has given the following reasons for gold being the most abundantly used metal for jewelry. ठीक है, उसने क्या, ट्रुप्ति ने क्या किया, she has given 5 reasons why gold is used mostly for making jewelry. Okay, उसने क्या क्या reason दिया, it has high ductility, I hope you know the properties of metal, malleability, okay, then it shines more than other metals, it reacts quickly with oxygen to form a protective layer of oxide, and fifth one, it does not react with water and oxygen even at high temperature. Now the question is, which of the reasons given is or are incorrect? So you have to, out of this was, or some has to be incorrect. Okay, so that's, you have to find it out. So is it only 3, is it only 4, is it only 4 and 5, or is it only 1, 2 and 3? So which one among them are incorrect? So if you see here, gold is a metal, so yes, ductility will be there, malleability is there, shine, metals they have the property that shines. Okay, so this is also correct. Now the remaining 2 are there. It reacts quickly with oxygen to form a protective layer of oxide, which is wrong. Gold is a very unreactive metal, so gold is less reactive. So even if you see the reactivity chart, I hope I am clear. So gold is always it is at the bottom along with silver. So the gold will not react with oxygen and it doesn't form oxide. That is why gold is mostly used. Okay, that's one of the reason why it is used as, for jewelry and all, because it does not get oxidized. Okay, it does not react with water and oxygen even at high temperature. That is also correct, because it with water also gold is not reactive even along with oxygen. Okay, so this is also correct. So only one is 4, so option B is the correct answer. Okay, so only 4 is incorrect, rest all are, whatever she has mentioned are correct. I hope I am clear with this. So gold is, that is why gold is most preferred metal. Okay, and because of that, so it has other properties, are the properties of metals that are being used by in this question. Next question, Gautam has to courier a sample of silver bromide powder to a lab for analysis. Which of the following containers can he use to pack the sample? Same questions, photochemical decomposition reaction के बारे में पूछा है. So silver bromide, so you know silver bromide is mentioned in the photochemical decomposition reaction. So that's so the question is based on that only. So यहाँ पे बोला है गौतम को इसको सिल्वर ब्रोमाइड सैंपल को ट्रांसफ़र करना है लैब में. ओके, तो उसके लिए उसका कौन सा वाला कंटेनर यूज़ करेगा टू पैक द सैंपल? विल ही टेक इन अ ट्रांसपेरेंट ग्लास बॉटल, ओपेक प्लास्टिक बॉटल और ब्लैक पेपर पैकेट? ओके, सो 3 ऑप्शंस है, and the 4 of so whether he'll carry only in P, or whether he'll carry P or Q, or only Q or R, okay, or any of P, Q or R. Now we know that photochemical decomposition occurs, that is why silver bromide, it decomposes when light passes through it or when light falls on it. तो इसके लिए, so that is why we cannot use something which is transparent or which can, where the light can pass, right? So उसके लिए अभी इन तीनों ऑप्शन में से देखो, transparent glass bottle, in transparent what is happening, light can easily pass through, right? So it cannot be an option. Opaque plastic bottle, opaque मतलब क्या, where the light cannot pass easily. Okay, it's like almost non-transparent, right, where it blocks the light. So yes, we can use opaque plastic bottle. Then we have black paper packet. Yes, we can also use a black paper packet because it is black in color, so no light can pass through a black paper. right? So it will block the light, so that's why we can also use black paper packet. So option Q and or R, इन दोनों ये दोनों option जहाँ पे वही वाला होगा. Now see where Q or R is there, so this is the correct option. Okay, option C. Rest all is wrong. We cannot use P, we cannot use P or Q. P or Q, P तो होगा ही नहीं, तो this cannot be an option, right? Any of P, Q, R ये होगा ही नहीं, P we cannot use, so the remaining is C. So only Q or R. I hope I am clear here. So silver bromide, so basically one question they have asked, two questions we have got in based on photochemical decomposition. एक है तुम्हारा color like light वाला के लिए, एक है what type of reaction is occurring. So one is based on reaction, one is based on the light decomposition part. So what type of material you'll use to avoid decomposition of silver bromide. So that's the answer. So option C is the correct answer. Now next question. A redox reaction is defined as a type of chemical reaction that involves transfer of electrons between reacting atoms, molecules or ions. One gains and the other loses electrons. Study the equation given below that shows the reaction between zinc oxide and hydrochloric acid. Okay, so this is the reaction given, ZnO plus 2HCl, ZnCl2 plus H2. Okay, so this 2 will be down. Okay, here 2 subscript. Now is this a double displacement reaction? Justify your answer. Is this a redox reaction? Justify your answer. Name another type of reaction that this is an example of. Okay, so यहाँ पे 3 question है, whether it is a double displacement reaction or not, and you have to give the reason. Okay, so always whenever they ask you a question, always give a reason behind your answer. If you're saying yes, why? If you're saying no, then why? You have to justify it. Okay, is this a redox reaction? That also is being asked. And another type of reaction that this is an example. इसका मतलब है you have to say this reaction, what is the other name of what other reaction is occurring in this given reaction. Okay, redox reaction we have all remember where oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously, दोनों एक साथ होता है. And it also another definition is जहाँ पे transfer of electrons होता है between the reacting atoms या फिर molecules और ions जो भी है, उसमें क्या होता है, transfer of electrons होता है, एक gain करता है एक lose करता है. Okay, so in a redox reaction transfer of electrons also takes place. So यहाँ इस reaction में you have to say first double displacement हो रहा है कि नहीं. So यहाँ पे देखो, so ions you see whether it is getting double displacement means what, the ions are exchanged, right? So you see here where is zinc now. So zinc has come with chlorine and H has gone with oxygen. So yes, double displacement is occurring because the exchange of ions is taking place, right? Now redox reaction हो रहा है कि नहीं. Now if you see here redox reaction, zinc oxide है and HCl is there. Okay, here zinc chloride and water है. Now you see whether one is gaining electrons and one is losing electrons or what. Here zinc का oxidation state is what? Zinc is 2 plus, oxygen 2 minus, hydrogen plus, chloride minus. यहाँ पे भी zinc का 2 plus, chlorine minus, plus, minus. Now you see same thing is here. यहाँ पे भी zinc 2 plus है, यहाँ पे भी zinc 2 plus है. That means no loss of electrons is taking place. Okay, even if you see oxygen also यहाँ पे 2 minus है, यहाँ पे भी 2 minus है. हाइड्रोजन का भी प्लस है, यहाँ पे भी प्लस है. क्लोराइड ऑल्सो -1, here also -1. So that means no transfer of electrons is taking place, no loss or gain of electrons is taking place. So that's why it is not a redox reaction. अगर एक if one is gaining electron और एक lose कर रहा है, then we can say it would have been a redox reaction. So since no transfer is taking place, so transfer of electrons are taking place, so that is not a redox reaction. Okay, so that's your answer. So as I've said, first one, yes, it is a double displacement reaction since exchange of ions are taking place between the reactants. Second one, no, it is not since none of the reactants have gained or lost an electron. Okay, so ये हो गया second. Okay, third one was there. Name another type of reaction that this is an example of. ये वाला reaction is also a neutralization reaction. क्यों neutralization है ना? HCl is what? It's an acid. Okay, zinc oxide will be a base. It will act as a base. Why? Because any acid plus base always gives what? acid plus base is salt and water, right? So if you see here, this is a salt, zinc chloride is salt, and water is released. So and one is acid. So that means the other has to be a base. So zinc oxide is a base. So acid plus base. So it is giving salt plus water. So that means the reaction will be a neutralization reaction. Okay, so any acid is there and it is giving salt and water, that means the other has to be a base, or if base is given and salt and water is formed, that means the other one will be act as an acid. Okay, so that's how you can find it out. So salt plus water is nothing, and if acid or a base is given, so that means we are talking about neutralization reaction. I hope I am clear here. Next one, on opening a bottle of soda, Nishal observed that there was a lot of effervescence. Okay, soda bottle was there. So and a lot of effervescence, and some of the soda water bubbled out of the bottle. Okay, I hope you, like I know I believe you know what is soda bottle, like cold drinks and all. So जब खोलते हो तो क्या था, like you have lot of bubbles coming out, right? So that means what, so what is they have asked, write the equation for the chemical reaction taking place and identify the type of reaction. So as soon as you open the soda bottle you have brisk effervescence. Now the effervescence related, that question is so it is based on that question. Okay, so what is that effervescence? That means which gas is released when you open a soda bottle? That means carbon dioxide, right? Effervescence, carbon dioxide has a brisk effervescence. Okay, so that is, so carbon dioxide कौन सा वाला equation में release हुआ था? So remember, I hope you remember. Now when you are getting carbon dioxide from the soda water, it is given, hint is already there, soda bottle is there, that is soda water is nothing but carbonic acid, right? So if carbonic acid is released, so that time what will happen, this carbonic acid will release the carbon dioxide gas, and remaining is water. Okay, so that when carbon, so that's what is present in the soda bottle. Carbonic acid is present. Carbonic acid, as soon as the bottle is open, the carbon dioxide gas starts releasing in the form of effervescence and bubbles, and remaining part is your water there. Okay, and the type of reaction, so this is what decomposition reaction. Carbonic acid is breaking down into two, carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so here it goes. So as I've said, so carbonic acid formula H2CO3, so it will break down to carbon dioxide and water, right? So carbon dioxide is nothing but it will show the brisk effervescence, so that is why you are having the bubbles, and the reaction will be decomposition reaction. Type of reaction is decomposition. So carbonic, always remember, soda will have carbonic acid. This is the formula of carbonic acid. Next one, Uzma peeled and cut some potatoes and left them in an open bowl. After a few minutes, she observed that the cut potato pieces had turned brown. Radhika also peeled and cut some potatoes. She kept the cut potato pieces immersed in a bowl of water. The potato pieces in water did not turn brown. Explain the difference in the reaction of the cut potato pieces in the two cases. Okay, so उज़्मा ने क्या किया था, she both उज़्मा and राधिका ने potato cut किया. Okay, then both of them kept in the bowl, and what happened was उज़्मा didn't use water. राधिका ने क्या किया, that potato pieces she put it in a bowl of water. दोनों ने रख दिया खुला. But Uzma का potato क्या हुआ था, since she has not put it in the water, it has turned brown, whereas Radhika का potatoes was not brown. Now why this was happening? You must have also observed when this thing, same thing, common thing, it's a common thing in the kitchen. Okay, आलू को काट के रख दो थोड़ा देर, it becomes a brown layer is formed outside, right? ये क्यों हो रहा है? That is because of oxidation. Potato oxidize हो रहा है air के साथ, that is why it turns brown. Okay, but if you put it in water, soak it in water, the contact between the potato and the air is cut off by the water, so oxidation will not be there. Okay, so that's the difference between both the cases. So as I've said, so the oxidation is prevented by keeping the potato under water, which as it is not in contact with air. Okay, whereas in case of Uzma, the oxidation was occurring because of the between the potato and the air. Okay, that is the answer for this question. Okay, next, question is the reactants of two reactions are given below. Okay, so these are two reactions that is being given. Write the chemical formula of the common product formed in the two reactions. So you have to say which is the formula, which is the product that is being formed in both the cases, and also identify the type of reaction in both the cases. Okay, so if you see calcium plus water and calcium oxide plus water, both will form calcium hydroxide. Okay, and this one will be displacement, it will displace hydrogen, and in second case it will be combination, so both will have calcium hydroxide. Okay, but in this case also calcium hydroxide is formed. Okay, plus hydrogen is formed. Okay, so this is a displacement reaction, and this is a combination reaction where both are combined together to form a single product, that is combination, right? So this is your answer for this question. It's a easy one. Next one, excess carbon dioxide is continuously bubbled through a solution of slake lime. I hope you remember the formula of slake lime. The carbon dioxide gas is continuously you're putting passing carbon dioxide gas through slake lime. Okay, this is another important question. Describe how the appearance of the solution will change. What will happen to the color of the solution? Now slake lime is color, solution of slake lime is colorless. Okay, now when you put excess of carbon dioxide, so what will happen? Carbon dioxide, it will turn milky. So lime water, slake lime is nothing but lime water turns milky. But if you continuously keep on adding carbon dioxide gas to that solution, then after some time again it becomes colorless, it turns back to its original one. Why? Now it is no longer lime water, now it forms calcium hydroxide. Okay, so that is why first it will turn transparent of milky, and then it will disappear. Okay, because then it becomes again soluble in water. So that's the answer. So here if you see, so calcium carbonate, first it is forming calcium carbonate, and then when excess of carbon dioxide is given, then it forms calcium bicarbonate. Okay, which is again soluble in water. Calcium carbonate, lime water, that is your it turns lime water milky, that means calcium carbonate is insoluble, that's why milky, it gives a milky appearance. So clear solution of slake lime will first turn milky whitish in color due to the formation of precipitate of calcium carbonate. Okay, and then on passing excess carbon dioxide, it will slowly become clear due to formation of calcium bicarbonate, which is water soluble. Okay, this is the reactions related to this equation. I hope I am clear here. Okay, so that's the end of this chapter based on chemical reactions and equations. Next video I'll be sharing the questions based on metals and non-metals regarding the competency based question series. Okay, I hope you have understood today or whatever I have shown you, and whatever questions is I have taught you. So enjoy learning and keep studying and give your best. Thank you.